The quiet summer nights embraced the small village with their cozy atmosphere. After moving to this magical place, my desire for peace and relaxation made me feel at ease. The enchanting lake sparkled under the moonlight, and the sounds of singing birds filled the air. This village was a gift from nature, and I was grateful for the moment I moved there. A week after my arrival, I decided to buy a small house next to the lake. It was a 2-story house, and due to my urgent need to settle in the village and immerse myself in my new job, I quickly purchased it. The furniture was sparse, but I was ready to make it my new home. On the first night at home, I felt exhausted after a long day of arrangements and preparations. I was very tired and decided to rest a little before starting my new work trip in the morning. As I got ready for bed, drowsiness gradually took over my body. I began to close my eyes and entered the world of dreams. As soon as I fell into the depths of sleep, mysterious and strange images started appearing to me. I saw an old lady in the garden of the house, standing in the middle of a dispute. Her face appeared wrinkled, tired, and filled with sadness. I noticed she was holding a long wooden stick and swinging it in her hands. When I looked into the garden of the house in the dream, there was no light illuminating the place. Darkness enveloped the trees and flowers, as if it were hiding around every corner. The old lady's eyes appeared charming and blazing with dark red, as if they held a mysterious power. Unable to bear the terrifying vision of the old lady, I startled awake and quickly opened my eyes. The room was dark and quiet, with no evidence of the old lady or the dispute in the garden. I took deep breaths and tried to calm my nerves. Maybe it was all just a bad dream caused by exhaustion. I tried to convince myself that things appear different in darkness and within the depths of sleep. However, I couldn't ignore the strange feeling that had overcome me. I decided to tread carefully and go take a look at the garden to make sure everything was okay. I walked out of my room cautiously, with each step adding to the silence in the air. When I reached the window overlooking the garden, I froze for a moment. The garden was unnaturally illuminated, and the trees were moving mysteriously in the stormy air. As I tried to locate the source of the light, I noticed someone standing in the middle of the garden. It was the old lady I had seen in my dream. Her limp foot danced in the wet grass, and her wooden stick gleamed in the strange light. I hesitated, unsure whether I should approach her or retreat back inside the house. However, curiosity and the desire to understand why she was there led me to approach slowly. As I moved past the dark bushes, I began to hear strange noises emanating from the old woman, like sighs and groans. She finally noticed my presence and looked at me with her red eyes sparkling in the darkness. I froze, every part of my body longing to escape. Yet, I couldn't move. There was something mysterious and terrifying about that old lady, and I knew I had fallen into her trap. Then, the scene around me started shifting. The trees thrashed about wildly, and the ground trembled beneath my feet. It was as if the entire garden had transformed into a strange and terrifying world. I tried to make my way to the door to escape, but the moving trees and bushes hindered my path. I stumbled and fell to the ground, and suddenly the lights went out, enveloping me in complete darkness. Doubts and fears arose within me, unsure of what would happen next. The silence was both mesmerizing and repulsive. In the pitch-black darkness, the night sky faded into a cloudy canopy filled with lightning and thunder. The wind intensified, blowing and shaking the trees violently. The forces of nature toyed with my surroundings in an unnatural manner. Then, in a moment of terrifying silence, the sky split open and rain poured down. Water droplets pounded the ground, their sound echoing throughout the area. As I lay on the ground, I felt the water wash over my body, washing away my fear. At that moment, I heard faint sounds emanating from between the trees. They were muffled sobs and screams. The words froze me in place, and I couldn't discern them clearly. As I tried to comprehend the origin of the sounds, I began to see movement in the darkness. There was a dark figure, tall in stature, with long hair cascading down either side of her face. She wore a black dress and a mysterious mask. I held my breath, my eyes fixated on that terrifying figure. In the chilling silence, she approached me with slow, menacing steps. Each step grew more mysterious and terrifying, carrying an air of supernatural power. As I tried to escape, I felt restricted and unable to move. The dark figure tightly gripped my hand, and a bone-chilling coldness spread through my body. Strange noises started echoing around us. It seemed as if horrifying beings were gathering, whispering in distorted and terrifying voices. Their words were incomprehensible but instilled terror and anxiety. In that dreadful moment, I collapsed to the ground, losing consciousness. When I woke up the next day in my room, I couldn't distinguish whether I was witnessing reality or trapped in a terrifying nightmare.